that level with the objective of them working together in groups or in peers. That's your objective. And that is what your learning activities will be geared towards. All right. Then if you're planning for a level 3, you want them to work at a level 3 of the collaboration rubrics. You know, the level 3 says what? They are working together in groups, and then they are sharing responsibilities together fairly. All right. So that is the level 3. Sharing responsibilities fairly. Note the key word, fairly. So if they are sharing responsibilities, but it's not fair, then that means it's still a level 2. Do we understand? So take notes of the keywords for every rubric. That will help you in answering your questions. They might be working together, but they're not working together in groups. That means they are still at a level 1. Is that okay? If they are working together in groups, but they're not sharing responsibilities, they are still in level 1. Okay, so take note of the keywords. These are the words you will look out for. But if they are working together and sharing responsibilities, then you know that they are in level 3, sharing responsibilities fairly. Is that okay? The keyword, sharing responsibilities fairly. If they are sharing responsibilities and it is not fair, what do we mean by fairly? That means everybody has something to do. If there are 5 members of a group and only 2 people are laden with the responsibility of the project, have they shared responsibilities fairly? No, they have not. So they are still on level 2 because they're working together. They've shared the responsibilities, but they've not shared it fairly because all the members of the groups are not involved. Just 2 people are involved. So that means it's not fairly shared. They will remain at a level 2. So don't forget that. Take note of the key words. So I'll start again from the level 1. Level 1, as Mr. Albert said, is a no. They are not doing that for all the rubrics. It's a no. They're not doing it. If they're not doing it, they are still in level 1. Okay? So for collaboration rubrics, level 1 is they are not working together. So if you come across a question that shows you that the people are not working together and they ask you that what level of the collaboration rubrics are they, then you know that it's a level 1. They are not working together. Okay? Or even if they are working, you can be working and you're not working together. Everybody will answer their father's name, but we're all in the same class doing the same thing, but we're doing it on our own. Okay? That is still a level 1. All right. Then for it to be a level 2, they must be working together in peers or in groups. Take note of the keyword, working together in peers or in groups. If they are working together, but they are not in peers or in groups, then it's still a level 1. So the key word for level 2 is that they are working together in peers or in groups. That is a level 2. Okay? And then for you to move to a level 3, they must be working together in peers, and then they must be sharing responsibilities fairly. If they are working together in groups, but they are not sharing responsibilities, then it's still a level 2. If they are working together in groups at level 2, they are sharing responsibilities, but they are not sharing the responsibilities fairly, it's still a level 2. So the key word for level 3 is sharing responsibilities fairly. The key word for level 2 is working together in peers or in groups. All right? So for you to move to a level 4, they must be working together in peers or in groups. They must be sharing responsibilities fairly. And then they must be taking substantive decisions together. Keyword, taking substantive decisions together. So if you, the educator, gives them a project, you have put them in groups, they have made that, they've shared their responsibilities, but you are the one making the decisions for them as the educator. They are not on level 4. The students must own the project. They must make their decisions together. Everything about that project must be their decision. You can guide them, but you cannot take the decision for them. All right? So for it to be level 4, they must be working together in pairs and in groups. They must be sharing responsibilities fairly, and then they must be taking substantive decisions together. Not one person taking the decision, not the educator taking the decision. The group must take the decision together. Then it's at a level 4. All right? So when you give them a project and you want them to operate at level 4 of the collaboration rubrics, that means you must give them projects that demand them to make substantive decisions together. Okay? They must make the decisions together. If that is the quality of project you have given them, then they are at a level 4 of the collaboration rubrics. Then for you to go to a level 5, they will be working together in groups, sharing responsibilities fairly, making substantive decisions together, and then producing interdependent work. What do we mean by interdependent work? Everybody's work, everybody's contribution must reflect in the final product. Not one member of the group, not one person say, that's my work, I did it. No, everybody's contribution must reflect in the final product of the project, and that will make their work interdependent. If it's just one person's work or two people's work that is, reflected as the final product, then they have not moved to level 5 of the collaboration rubrics. They will still be at a level 4. So for level 5, the keyword there is interdependent work. They must produce interdependent work. Are we clear? All right. So level 1 is they are not working together. Or they are working together, but they're not working together in groups or in pairs. That is a level 1. Level 2, they are working together in pairs or in groups, but they are not sharing responsibilities fairly. Okay. Level 3, they are working together in groups and they are sharing responsibilities fairly. The keyword fairly. If it's not fairly shared, they will still be at a level 2. They remain at level 2, where they are just sharing responsibilities, but it's not fair. All right. For level 3, they're working together, sharing responsibilities fairly, taking substantive decisions together. That is a level 4. Okay. So if taking substantive decisions together is missing, then it remains a level 3. If sharing responsibilities fairly is missing, then it remains a level 2. Okay? If working together in pairs or groups is missing, then it's a level 1. All right? Then the level 5 is they produce interdependent work. So if they have all these steps and their work is not interdependent, then they remain at a level 4. Yes. So I hope we're all good. You have gotten the keywords in the collaboration rubrics. The keywords are working together in groups, sharing responsibilities fairly, taking substantive decisions together, and then producing interdependent work. So don't forget that. So your questions are what you look out for. If you don't find them there, then you know it's not that level. Okay? So that's that about collaboration rubrics. So number 2, let's go to knowledge construction. Knowledge construction. In knowledge construction, what do we expect of our learners? Okay, our learners are required to construct and apply knowledge. They construct the knowledge and they apply the knowledge. So when our learners apply their knowledge in new contexts, they practice critical thinking, and then they learn to adapt, okay, from their current situation to a new situation based on the knowledge that they have constructed. All right? For example, we have taught them addition and subtraction, and we have taught them money, currency in the classroom in maths. All right? So they take that knowledge of addition and subtraction and money that you have taught them, they take it to the real world and go to the supermarket or go to a shop to buy something. Based on the knowledge that you have taught them in class, they are able to transfer that knowledge in the real world when they go to the supermarket. They are able to know that when they have 100 naira and they buy something of 70 naira, they are expected to collect 30 naira change. Okay, so that is applying the knowledge that they have constructed in the classroom in a real world situation, their current situation. You know, we have pupils that don't know money. You know, when you send them on an errand, they don't know the change to collect, even as adults. That means they've not been able to construct their knowledge and apply the constructed knowledge in a new context. All right, so that's the work of knowledge construction. The construction of knowledge and the application of that knowledge in a real world situation or in a new situation. All right, that is what knowledge construction is all about. And then in knowledge construction, you must be able to take your knowledge from one subject and apply it in another subject. Okay, for example, your integrated science. The knowledge you have in integrated science, you must be able to relate it in your biology, you must be able to relate it in your physics, you must be able to relate it in your chemistry. So it becomes interdisciplinary. Okay? There's some knowledge that we have from our basic science and technology, you know, our physical, when we talk about classes of food, for example, you know, in our basic science, we deal with classes of food, the different classes of food. And then that knowledge that you have gained, when you get to home economics, where you also have classes of food, you're able to relate, oh, I've seen this one here. You're able to transfer that knowledge and use that knowledge to help you in your study in home economics. So that knowledge you have constructed becomes interdisciplinary. And that is what knowledge construction is all about. Okay, you're able to think critically and you're able to adapt that current knowledge into a new situation. So if that does not take place, if they're not able to apply that knowledge, then they've not finished constructing that knowledge at all. All right, so let's look at the rubrics for knowledge construction. So number 1, level 1 is there is no knowledge construction. So there's a difference between knowledge construction and knowledge reproduction. I hope we know that. All right. When we give students definitions, what is a noun? A noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or thing, whatever the new definition is right now. Okay. And then you ask the pupil, what is a noun? And the child tells you a noun is the name of a person, animal, place, and thing. You know, as that child constructed the knowledge, No, the child has just reproduced the knowledge that you have given to that child. Okay? But if you ask the child, you have taught the child about nouns, names of people, places, animals, and things. And then you ask the child, okay, what are nouns? And the child tells you that nouns are names. Names of people, names of places, names of animals, names of things. For example, table, chair, John, Peter, and the child goes further to give you examples, of nouns. And he looks around his classroom and points out at the names of objects and identifies them as noun. Then the child has been able to go beyond knowledge reproduction to construct his own knowledge, all right, from what you have taught him about nouns in the class. He now knows as he's walking on the road, he sees a tree. Oh, that's a noun. He sees a bird. That's a noun. He sees a car. That's a noun. It's constructing his own knowledge and is able to apply that knowledge when he is asked for it. So that is knowledge construction. So if you're teaching and your objective is not knowledge construction, but knowledge reproduction, then you are still on the level 1 of the knowledge construction rubric. So for level 2, your objective is knowledge construction. You want them to know about that thing, not just reproduce that knowledge, but to know how that thing came about to be. All right. Another example is our multiplication table. Some of us were taught the multiplication table through rote learning. And that is a system we still use to teach our pupils today. And that's why they find it difficult to multiply on their own. Okay? You ask a child, recite the 2 times table. And it goes 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6, And then you throw a random question. What is 2 times 8? And the child cannot answer. He has to go back to 2 times 1, 2. Because he has not constructed the knowledge of how to multiply. He has not understood the process of multiplication. He has not understood that multiplication is simply repeated addition. Okay? He has not learned how multiplication came about. He has just learned it. He's just reproducing the knowledge. He has not constructed the knowledge by himself, and therefore he cannot apply it. All right? That's why when you ask me a random question, you just pick anyone, and then he can't answer it. He has to go back to 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, before he will get what is 2 times 8. But for a child that has constructed that knowledge, he will be able to apply it. But you ask him 2 times 8, he knows that it is what? 2 in 8 places. So he quickly does a calculation and he gives you your answer 16 without blinking an eye. That's a child that has constructed that knowledge and is able to apply that knowledge. Okay, so level 2, knowledge construction is our aim, but that is not the main effort. We just want them to know it, okay, in passing. Just know, there's some things we teach in class. That is not the topic, but we just dive into it as a passing knowledge for the children. But the purpose is not for them to know it at that point, because they are still going to talk about it much more later in a deeper level. So that is a level 2. Knowledge construction is taking place, but that is not the main effort. Therefore, level 3 of knowledge construction, there is knowledge construction, okay, but there is no conceptual understanding. I know it, but I don't understand it. Okay? We have some topics like that and some subjects like that. That it's much later in life that we came to understand, oh, this was what they were trying to teach me then. You just know it. We know it to pass. but we don't have a conceptual understanding of that knowledge. Okay, so for that, it's still a level 3 in the knowledge construction rubrics. Then for it to be a level 4, there must be knowledge construction. There must be conceptual understanding for level 4. So for level 4, there is knowledge construction and there is conceptual understanding. Remember level 1, knowledge construction. Level 2, there's knowledge construction, but that's not the main effort. That's not where you're going to. It's just a passing knowledge. Then level 3, there's knowledge construction, and knowledge construction is the main effort, but there is no conceptual understanding. At level 3, there's knowledge construction, and then that knowledge construction is the main effort. You want them to know. You want them to have a knowledge of that thing, but there is no conceptual understanding. You're not going deep into it. You're not analyzing it for them. You're not synthesizing it for them. Just have head knowledge of it. That's just what I want you to have. Okay? But level 4, there is conceptual understanding. That means at level 4, there is knowledge construction. Knowledge construction is the main effort, and there is conceptual understanding. Okay? They're able to synthesize it. They're able to dissect it. They're able to analyze it. They're able to explain it. They have an in-depth knowledge of it. They understand it. You wake them up 2 a.m., they will tell you what it is because they have conceptual understanding. They know how it works. That is a goal at level 4. Then for level 5 of knowledge construction, there is knowledge construction. Knowledge construction is the main effort. There's conceptual understanding. And for level 5, that knowledge is applied, or that knowledge is interdisciplinary. You can relate it to other fields. You can relate it to other subjects. You can use it in other subjects. Okay? Your knowledge of classes of food in your basic science, when you get to your own management, it's useful to you. When you get to your chemistry, when you're analyzing and dissecting, all the proteins and all that in food, you are able to have an understanding because you have learned it in basic science. In your foods and nutrition, when they are talking, you have an understanding of what they are saying. That basic knowledge is helping you in other subjects because you have the foundation already. Okay, so that is a level 5. The knowledge is applied or it is interdisciplinary. That is level 5 of the knowledge construction rubrics. Okay, like I said earlier, you can decide at what level you want to tailor your learning activities. If you just want them to know, just have passing knowledge of it, then you know what level you are, at. If you want them at a level 2, that's not what you just want them to have a passing knowledge. You know you're at a level 2. You're just giving them, I don't care whether you know it or you don't know it, just for your information only. That's a level 1. You're not constructing any knowledge. Okay? For your information, but that's not what we're not going deep into it. That's a level 2. Okay, that's not the main effort. Then for level 3, for your information, I want you to know it at the surface. Okay, but you get to understand it better in our later lessons. That's a level 3. And then for a level 4, you want them to have an in-depth knowledge of it, understand it, know how it works. That is a level 4. And then for a level 5, after they've known how it works, they have an in-depth knowledge of it, they practicalize it, they use it. That is a level 5. And that knowledge, they can transfer it to other fields and use it in other fields. That is a level 5. Okay? So when they have a deep understanding of it, you want them to have a deep understanding of it, you want them to be able to apply that knowledge in new situations, then that is a level 5. Okay? So the key words there is knowledge construction, but it's not the main effort. When there's knowledge construction, but that is not the main effort, that is a level 2. Okay? Level 3, knowledge construction is the main effort, but there's no conceptual understanding. So in level 3, no conceptual understanding. Level 4, knowledge construction. Knowledge construction is the main effort, and there is conceptual understanding. Level 4. Level 5, there's knowledge construction. Knowledge construction is the main effort. There's conceptual understanding, and then that knowledge is applied, or it is interdisciplinary. You can relate it to other fields. You can connect it in other fields. You can use it in other fields. All right, that is a level 5 for knowledge construction. Are we clear? Are we good?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, can we go on? All right, so the third one is real-world problem solving and innovation. Real-world problem solving and innovation. So when we talk about this skill level, what do we mean? We are preparing our children, we are preparing our pupils for the real world. Real-world problems, okay? Problems that are facing us now. That is what we are preparing them for. The ability to be able to solve those problems. That is real-world problem solving and innovation. Innovation is creating solutions, bringing solutions to real-world problem solving. All right? For the past couple of months right now, we have been having the problem of heat waves. Okay? That's a real-world problem. It's affecting every one of us. All right? So when we have learners that can prefer solutions to this problem, then we'll call them innovators. They have been able to provide a solution to this real world problem that is facing all of us. Global warming, we are still looking for solutions. They've told us plant trees, replace trees, yet we are cutting down trees. Okay, probably in Nigeria, we are still cutting down our trees. We are still burning our bushes. We are still burning our refuse, you know, and we are increasing global warming. Some of us don't even believe there's global warming, but we are having the result. Okay, so these are real world problems. There are problems that are us now. We have the problems in Nigeria. We have the problem of electricity, stable power supply. How do we solve it? We have physicists. Okay, we have first-class physicists. Yes, we don't have solutions. I don't understand. That means there's a problem with our educational system. We are not raising inventors. Okay, we're just grooming people that have knowledge, but cannot transfer that knowledge to prefer solutions, to innovate, to bring new things that will solve problems. And that is why we are learning this, all right? So that we can, you know, develop in our pupils the ability to solve problems, the ability to think critically and prefer solutions to problems, real world problems. Take note of the keywords there, real world, not imagined problems, real world, problems that are affecting the world right now. Okay, so those are keywords there, real world problem solving and innovation. All right, so So when they work on these problems and they prefer solutions to it, they'll be developing their creative thinking and problem-solving skills. So when we give them assignments that has to do with real-world problem solving, okay, in our classroom is always littered. And you as a teacher, you have shouted, and I mean, it's not helping. And then you throw the question to the pupils, how can we keep our classroom clean? How do we keep our classroom clean? We need to keep our classroom clean. You throw it back to them and they begin to brainstorm. You know, keeping the classroom clean is a real world problem. It's a reality that you must, solve. It's a problem you must solve. All right. And they begin to think about it. And then they come up with ideas. All right. So let's come up, number one, let's come up with rules in the classroom. No littering of the classroom. They come up with the rules by themselves. They are solving the problem by themselves. It's a problem that's confronting you and they need to solve it. And they come up with that ideas. Okay, teacher, let's make these rules. No littering of the classroom. If you litter the classroom, you will get punished for it. They come up with that rule. Rule number 2, when we are done with our lunch, we'll get our broom and our dustpan and we'll clean up after eating. They're coming up with solutions to solve the problem of the classroom always being littered. Solution number 3, let's get a waste bin by the entrance of the classroom. So if you need to trash anything, you don't trash it on the floor, you put it in the waste bin. So they have taught creatively. And then when you put those 3 rules that they have come up with into practice, you find out that your classroom becomes cleaner. So they have solved a real world problem and they have come up with solutions that are workable, solutions that can be applied, that can be practiced. And that is what innovation is all about. Your solution must be a solution that works. It must be something that works. All right? Okay, so when we expose them to some of these real world problems, they practice critical and creative thinking skills, all right? And these are skills that you need in today's workforce. The only reason they are paying you is for solving problems. We want to teach our children. We cannot teach them by ourselves. We need people to help us teach them and teach them well. That's where the teacher comes in. So the teacher comes in to solve the problem of educating the pupils or the children whom their parents don't have the time to educate at home. So you are paid for the problems that you solve. And if you cannot solve any problem, you don't have any problem-solving skill, you will be replaced. And of course, we know that we have artificial intelligence right now, okay? So if you don't want to be replaced by artificial intelligence, you need to up your game and be innovative. Develop your critical and creative thinking skills, okay? Implement solutions, prefer solutions to real-world problems. And then we can start that in our classrooms by introducing them to critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Give them a problem to solve. What do you think we should do about this? Don't take all the decisions by yourself. When you have a problem, throw it open to the children. Okay, you are getting them ready for the real world, for problem solving in the real world. What do you think we should do? How should we do this? What can we do? And then you'll be amazed. They will give you solutions and you'll be like, wow, never knew they could think like that. All right. So that's it about real world problem solving and innovation. So level 1 of the rubrics, no problem solving. So if they're not solving any problem, they are still at a level 1. 2, they are solving a problem. But the problem they are solving is not a real world problem. It's an imagined problem. Then it's a level 2. For level 3, they are solving a problem. And the problem they are solving is a real world problem. And then they have preferred solution to it. but their solutions have not been implemented. So that's a level 3. So if they have solutions to it, and that solution is not implemented, or is not given to people that can implement the solution, that is a level 3 of the real world problem solving rubrics. Then for it to be a level 4, they're solving a problem. The problem they're solving is a real world problem. They have solutions to that problem, and then the solution is implemented or given to authorities that can implement it. Then that is a level 4 of the real world problem solving. Okay, I'm sure some of us are aware of I think it's called JETS, Young Engineers and Technicians Club or something. You know, they used to have a program in those days. I'm sure they still do that. Young Scientists Club and all that. But I remember JETS very well, where the children come up with ideas, okay, solutions to problems, real world problems. They come up with solutions to it, and then they display it, and it ends up at a competition level. Okay, it ends up at a competition level. Oh, the first prize goes to this, second prize goes to this, and then it dies there. Nobody implements those ideas. All right, the authorities don't see those ideas to take it up and, you know, build on it and implement it and enforce it and use it to solve those problems. And that is one of the problems we are facing in Nigeria. We have brilliant minds, we have creative minds, but most of their ideas end up in textbooks or end up as projects. If I ask us as teachers, your final year projects, some of us, our final year projects are practical projects. For those of you in science, you know, you do real projects and it ends up there as projects. They don't take it up, you know. 5 years down the lane, you see your project being used to sell akara on the road. You know, what it took your time, your resources to put together. You know, they just trash them and sell them off to people selling roadside food, you know, and then it's so saddening. Okay, so for real world problem solving, there must be innovation. Those solutions must not just end up as project topics or projects, you know, they must not just end up as competition, okay, finalist level and all that. No, we must take them beyond that. We must innovate. We must implement them. We must use them. We must take them to people that can implement them, that can sponsor them, you know, fine-tune them and use them to solve problems. So that's the final level of the real world problem solving and innovation rubrics. So level 1, no problem solving. Level 2, there is problem solving, but the problem being solved is not a real world problem. Level 3, there's problem solving. The problem being solved is a real world problem, and then it has solutions that are successful. So if the solutions are not successful, it remains in level 2. Okay, so for level 3, there's problem solving. The problem is a real world problem. The solutions are successful, and then the solutions are implemented or given to people that can implement it. That's a level 4 for the real world problem solving. So when we give our students projects to do, the project should not just end in our classroom, okay, being graded by the teacher. If the project just ends as classroom projects being graded by the teacher, then we have not innovated. We have not implemented it, all right? But when we give them projects, for example, in arts, you give them different arts projects. At the end of the term, you should be able to have an art exhibition for them. Show off all these their projects. Even get parents to buy them. Get creators to look at them. Okay, you might be grooming the next fantastic artist, you never know. Okay, But if you just enter the arts lab like that, nobody sees that work, then we have not innovated. When they come up with solutions to a problem, they come up with a project, you know, celebrate them, display them, all right? Organize a fair for them, science fair, art fair, you know, crafts fair, show their work, showcase it to the world. Then you'll be innovating. Praise the Lord. All right. Are we good so far? Yes. Any questions so far?
Not at all. No, that is fine. There's no level 5. It stops at 4.
Real world problem solving starts at 4.
4.
Yes. Collaboration, 5 levels. Knowledge construction, 5 levels. Use of ICT, 5 levels. Self-regulation, 4. Real world problem solving, 4. And the skilled communications, 4. Okay? All right, so let's go to the next one. Use of ICT. Use of ICT in learning or for learning, okay? So in this use of ICT for learning, we have 2 levels. Number 1, the students' use of ICT, and then the educators' use of ICT. All right, but the focus here is the students' use of ICT for learning. The students' use for ICT for learning. That's the focus here. We're still going to talk about the educators' parts, you know, and in the educators' parts, you know the different technological tools that we can use for learning and their different uses. That's for the educator. But for use of ICT for learners, we're talking about when the learners use ICT for learning. We're talking about how they use technology to deepen their knowledge and their understanding, okay? And then their ability to come up with ICT products for a real audience. That's talking about the students' use of ICT. So for level 1, if they are not using ICT for that learning, okay, ICT is not required for that learning. They're not using, they can learn that without the use of ICT. That is a level 1. They're not using ICT at all. That's a level 1. Okay, so for level 2, they are using ICT for learning. Okay, and their knowledge construction is supported by the use of ICT. Level 2, they're using the ICT for learning, and their knowledge construction is supported by the use of ICT. Supported by the use of ICT. Okay, that's level 2. Then for level 3, they're using ICT for that learning. Yes, I can. I should what? Level 2. Okay. Level 2, they are using ICT and their knowledge construction is supported by ICT. Just listen. Just listen, okay? Just listen. They're using level 1, they are not using ICT. Level 2, they are using ICT and their knowledge construction is supported by ICT, use of ICT. Okay? Okay, just pay attention because level 2 and 3 are close, but they are different. So you must be very careful. All right? So level 2, their knowledge construction, they're using ICT to construct knowledge. And that knowledge construction is supported by ICT. Okay? Then level 3, ICT is required, keyword, required for their knowledge construction. Level 2, ICT supports, but it is not required. They can do without ICT. They can still construct that knowledge without the use of ICT, level 2. But in level 3, ICT, use of ICT is required. That's the key word for level 3. It is required. Level 2, it is supported, but it's not required. They can still do without it. But for level 3, they cannot do without the use of ICT. They cannot construct that knowledge without the use of ICT. Is that okay? Then for level 3, they require ICT for that knowledge construction. They're using ICT. ICT supports that knowledge construction, and then ICT is required for that knowledge construction. But they are not designing any product for any authentic user. They're not designing any products for any authentic user. Keyword, no product designed for authentic user. All right? And then to crown it all, they're level 5. They are using ICT. ICT supports their knowledge construction. ICT is required for their knowledge construction, and then they design ICT product for authentic users.
Please, can you come back to level 4?
Okay. Level 4, they are using ICT. ICT supports their knowledge construction. ICT is required for their knowledge construction, but they are not designing any ICT product for any authentic user. Okay? So, level 5, they are using ICT. ICT supports their knowledge construction. ICT is required for their knowledge construction. Okay? And then they design a product, an ICT product for authentic users.
Come again, please.
So if they design a product and they don't have a particular user in mind, then they are not at level 5. They are still at level 4, where they just design products. All right? But for them to be at a level 5, they must design that product for an authentic user. They have a particular user in mind, and then the product they design is for that user. Okay? So for an example, you gave your students a project to do, and they have to use ICT. They have to engage the use of internet and technology for that project. All right? Maybe you ask them to do a podcast on how to use the ATM machine. All right? So, how to use ATM machine or something like that. Okay? So, at the end of that project, who do you think they come up with a podcast, or they come up with an app? Okay, let's use an app. They come up with an app that helps you to access your account, okay, without having to go to the bank. All right? So, what do you think are the authentic users? Who do you think will be the authentic users of this product, of this app?
The consumers.
Who are the consumers?
Those who buys the product from them for their own personal use.
It will not just be any customer. If I have access to go to the bank, will I need the app?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
If I have access to go to the bank, will I need the app?
You know, there are some situations where even the banks will tell you to go and use the ATM outside.
I'm still able to go to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
It will be for people that can't go to the bank. Those are the authentic users. Do you understand? All right, someone that doesn't have access to the bank, someone that the bank is far away from. Those will be the authentic users of the app that they have created. Do you understand? So the ICT products must be designed for a particular audience, must be designed for an authentic audience. All right? If we were to create an app, right now that gives you a virtual tour of your university campus, who do you think are the target users of that app?
Students.
The students.
What caliber of students? Is it year 4
New
students?
intake.
Thank you. That app will be most useful for freshers, isn't it? It will be most useful for freshers. Those that are just coming for the first time, that don't know anything about the campus. They will find that, app very useful to navigate their way around. So that's what we mean by designing ICT products for authentic users. And that is the level 5 of the use of ICT. So whatever they are designing, they must have an authentic user in mind. They must have people that will use it, people that it will be useful for, not just creating anything, but creating creating a product that is useful and useful to a particular target. You have your target audience. You have people you are targeting. You have people that you want to use that product. All right. So let's look at that. Let me just give you another example. Advertisement is targeted at who? When you advertise the product, for example, these are the Milo adverts, the food drink for future champions. Where is the advert targeted at? Thank you.
The buyer.
The children. Okay? The children. Because the children will disturb their mommy. Mommy, I want that one. That boy is running very fast because he drank Milo. Me too, I want to run very, very fast. Isn't it? And then they will go and buy the product for them. So it must be for an authentic user. You must have an authentic user in mind at the end of it. Okay, so that's it about use of ICT. It has 5 levels. Number 1, no use of ICT. Number 2, students use ICT and ICT supports their knowledge construction. Level 3, students use ICT. ICT supports their knowledge construction and ICT is required for their knowledge construction. Number 4, they use it, it is supported, and it is required, and then they don't design any product for any authentic user. So if they design a product, but it's not for an authentic user, it remains a level 4. Okay, so the keyword for level 5 is authentic user. ICT products for authentic users. So the next one, self-regulation.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
You said level 3. Let me just, in summary, you use ICT for learning, and the knowledge construction is ICT is required for knowledge construction. But level 4, they are not designing any product for any authentic user. Yes. So what is it exactly that they do at level 4? If they are not, that is different from level 3.
Okay, the difference between level 3 and level 4, okay, is that in level 4, I said that they are not designing any products for an authentic user. Keyword, authentic user. They design products, but it's not for an authentic user. So at level 4, they are designing, but they don't have anything in mind. Do you understand? For example, for our coding and robotic classes, for those of us that do coding and robotics, our children design, isn't it?
Yes.
At the end of the class, they design. But it just ends as designing. They don't have any particular user in mind to use what they're designing. They're just designing for knowledge and for fun. Do you understand? They're just designing for knowledge and for fun. Okay. But if they want to take it to a level 5, they must design for an authentic user in mind. That which they are designing, they must have a particular user in mind. Okay? We're designing this thing for children that cannot read. We're designing this app to enable them learn how to read. So that's designing product for an authentic user in mind. Level 4, we are designing, but we don't have anybody in mind. We're just designing for fun and for knowledge. But for level 5, we are designing with a particular user in mind, an authentic user in mind. We have people in mind that will want to use this product, that we know that this product will benefit them. And that is why we are doing the designing. So that's just the difference. Are we good? Okay. So the next one is self-regulation. 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 Okay. So what does self-regulation mean? Your ability to work on your own, correct your work based on feedback, be autonomous, and be fast-paced in your work. All right. I'm sure when some of us were applying for job, we're writing our CV, ability to work independently with little or no supervision, isn't it? You're right, I can work independently with little or no supervision. Yes, that little or no supervision is self-regulation skill. Your ability to work on your own, even without supervision. Once you know what you're supposed to do, you have your targets, you have your goals, you have your step-by-step guide on how to do that thing, and then you go ahead and you do your work without anybody shouting on your head, without anybody coercing you. That is self-regulation. And that is a skill we want to develop in our pupils, the ability to work independently, the ability to be self-starters, in quotes, self-starters. They're able to own their learning. They're able to go ahead, read on their own. All right, even once you have given them the scheme of work, you have given them what is expected of them, the learning objective and all that, they go ahead and read. They go ahead and learn on their own. Okay, that's the kind of skill we want to develop in our pupils. Not, you did not teach me now, so I did not read it. You know, we have pupils like that. Hey, my teacher did not teach me. And you're like, don't you have your scheme of work? Yes, I have it now, but my teacher did not teach me. No, we have gone beyond that level. Whether your teacher is there or not, you should be able to self-regulate yourself. Go ahead, do your study. Once you have your learning objective, you know your success criteria, you know if you are hitting it or not, and then you go ahead. It makes work easier in the classroom, as a matter of fact. And then when you get into the workforce, into the outside world, you're not having anyone breathe down your neck to do what is right, like we have now. We have teachers who see after you have not marked your register, you have not submitted your lesson plan. Hey, this, that, adults. And you have to, treat them like babies. Always remind them, because no, that's not self-regulation. And that's not what we want our students or our pupils to grow up to be. We want them to be self-starters. We want them to be independent learners. We want them to be independent workers that can work on their own, ability to do things on their own. Once they know what is right to do, they go ahead and do it. And then once you give them corrections, they go back, correct themselves, and they are good to go. All right. Now we have some pupils that are so disciplined to the level that you don't even stress yourself about their learning. Once you tell them, do this, do this, do this, they're good to go. In the next minute, they come back, they're done, and they do it very well. Very well. Okay, so that's the kind of pupils or students we want to raise, and ultimately adults that we want to raise in our outer world. Adults that are able to self-regulate, they're able to own their work, they're able to work on their own, independent workers, independent learners. All right. Yes. And with self-regulation, you will learn the skills of planning. You will learn the skill of monitoring your work by yourself. You will learn the skill of revising your work based on feedback. You will not take feedback like, her own is too much. She's always picking on me. She's always seeing a comma in my work. No. Some of us are like that. We don't like to be corrected. We don't like anybody to correct our work. We just think we are good. No. For self-regulation, you must be able to revise your work based on feedback. You must be able to improve the quality of your work based on feedback. You must be able to, monitor yourself, know when you are succeeding, know when you are failing, and then go back, retrace your steps, and, take off from there. So that's what self-regulation is all about. So for self-regulation, the pupils must be aware of their learning objectives. They must be aware of their success criteria. All right. So as educators, I hope we still give our pupils, what to expect for the term, what they're expected to cover for the term, their scheme of work, their learning objectives for the term. All right. So they should know at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define this. You should be able to know the advantages and disadvantages of this, be able to identify this, you should be able to explain, you should be able to differentiate, okay? And that will help the pupils. So if I know I cannot define, then I know that I've not reached the objective. I have a problem. I have to go back and learn it. All right? That is what self-regulation is all about. So for level 1, in self-regulation, the pupils don't understand their learning goals and success criteria. That's level 1. They don't understand their learning goals and their success criteria. So when you enter the classroom and you don't tell your students their learning goals, you don't tell them their success criteria. When you enter the class, what are we learning today? We don't know. Our teacher did not tell us. All right? Yes, now our teacher did not tell us. When you ask them this question, we don't know, our teacher has not taught us, because they are not aware of what is expected of them. All right. And they don't even know when they have reached there. All right. So for level 1, students don't understand their learning goals and their success criteria. That's level 1. For level 2, the students understand their learning goals and their success criteria. All right. So what are we learning today? We are learning addition of 2-digit numbers. And what is expected of you? At the end of this lesson, I should be able to add together 2-digit numbers correctly. So the students are aware, they know. So if they are doing it well, they know. So when they're not doing well, they will quickly tell you, Auntie, I'm not getting it, because he knows what is expected of him. So that is a level 2. The students understand their learning goals and they have an understanding of their success criteria. So level 3 of the self-regulation is that the pupils plan and monitor their work. They plan and monitor their work. All right. So when they're able to plan and monitor their work, they are learning the skill of self-regulation. All right. So it's not every time it's about the teacher. No. Sometimes you give them the opportunity to decide what they are learning for that day, how they are going to learn it. All right. And then they monitor their work by themselves. All right, we have some of those children in the class that love helping their colleagues a lot. When they are done with their own work, they will spy into their friends' work and they will shout, "Auntie, he did not add it together very well. He did not do it very well. All right, let me help him." No, this is how Auntie taught us. Auntie said you do it like this. Auntie said you do it like that. All right. So that's the level we want to get to, where our pupils are able to plan and monitor their own work by themselves. It's not as if you will leave them alone like that as an educator. Okay, they are planning their work, so whatever they want to do, they should do. No, with your guidance. But you give them a level of independence, to do what they want to do. I have a friend that has a child overseas, and then the child was schooling here in Nigeria before they relocated to the UK. And then when they got to the UK, when Taiwo gets into class, she tells the teacher, "I don't want to learn today." And the teacher asks him, "What do you want to do?" "I want to play." And the teacher allows the child to go and play in the play area in the classroom. And the mother was like, "Hey, my money is burning. This child that was writing in Nigeria, you have come to the UK now. It's as if you don't even know anything." And you know that they will not stress you because they allow children to plan their own work and monitor their own work and do whatever they want to do, okay, with the teacher's supervision to a large extent. And they allow the child. But here in Nigeria, for where you don't want to learn what? After I've paid school fees, did I pay school fees for you to go and play in school? Yeah, But learning, play is also part of learning, especially structured play that is structured towards learning. So we must allow the children, once in a while, just ask them, yes, we have our timetable, but once in a while, ask them, what do you want to learn today?
The Miss or Mrs. I can't hear you any longer. What?
Please, teacher, come back.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Time I'm enjoying this.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you now.
Can hear
Okay,
you.
can everyone hear me now?
Mr.
I can
Albert,
hear you.
no, here.
Mr. Albert's people, can you hear?
I think their network switched off because they're no longer here.
Yeah, we
They're
can
still
hear
here.
you.
They're not hearing me.
Are you put there?
Okay, but Abuja people can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
those
We can hear
we
you
can
very
hear
well.
you, but it's like those that are inside the hall. I don't
Yes,
think they are still hearing you.
they've lost their connection.
Yeah.
All right, so let's continue. I hope they get back. We can always recap. So we're talking about self-regulation, and we're talking about the ability of the children to plan their work sometimes. Just ask them, what do you want to do today? How do you think we should do it? And then you'll be amazed at the results they will give you. In giving them the opportunity, you're giving them the opportunity to be able to self-regulate, to own their work, and work at their own pace, even though you monitor them to make sure they're doing what is right. That's what self-regulation is all about, and that's the level 3. And then level 4, they're able to improve the quality of their work through feedback. The keyword, feedback. Level 4, feedback. Improve quality of their work through feedback. Feedback from you as the educator or feedback from their peers. All right? With that feedback, they're able to improve the quality of their work. And that is all what self-regulation is all about. So for self-regulation, the students must have an understanding of their learning goals and their success criteria. If they don't have understanding of their learning goals and success criteria, then they're in level 1. But if they have an understanding of their success goals, they know it, they have it, then they are in level 2. And then for them to go to level 3, they must be able to plan and monitor their own work. The pupils must be able to plan and monitor their own work. That is a level 3. And then for level 4, they must be able to revise and improve the quality of their work based on feedback. Okay, so the key words for self-regulation is what? Understand learning goals and success criteria, plan and monitor work, and then improve quality of work through feedback. Yes, so the feedback can come from you as the educator, or it can come from their peers, but feedback is key. And the feedback must be to improve the quality of their work. All right. So it's not feedback. Yes, it's not feedback after you have run their work for them. You're not giving, no, that's not feedback. Okay. But feedback to improve the, okay, why don't you look at this again? Why don't you do it like this? Why don't you do it like that? Okay, they look at it again and then go back on their own, look at it critically, then make their corrections and submit the perfect work to you. That is improving the quality of their work through feedback. Okay, Mr. Albert's group, can you hear us now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, welcome back. So I'll just go back to what I said before you came. We're talking about self-regulation. And you said? No, self-regulation. Yeah. You heard me with that? You are okay with that? Okay, thank God for that. All right, so finally, let's go to the last one.
I don't think they had the last one.
They did, they said they are okay.
They don't have the last one. They don't have the level 4.
How did they have?
We have it. They have it. Level 4, improving the quality of your work through feedback. That's level 4. Okay, so the key word there is feedback. Level 4, regulation, feedback. Level 3, plan and monitor work. Level 2, understanding of success criteria and learning goals. Now, level 1, no understanding at all. So don't forget, level 1, that thing is not happening there. That's level 1. Okay. So for the last one, skilled communication. Skilled communication. All right. So skilled communication is so important. We must be skilled in our communication. Most of the words that we had is as a result of lack of communication or not communicating properly. And of course, that's a major problem. If you don't communicate well, there will be wars, there will be fights. We must have an understanding of how to communicate and communicate effectively. You know, not that you mean you want to say something, another one is coming now. Nah, that's not what I mean now. That's not what I'm saying now, you know, and then there will be kata. So skilled communication is very, very important. Not just communication, but skilled communication. Communication that is effective, communication that, you know, that says exactly what you want it to say and is understood by the receiver. All right. And it's in different dimension that caters for diverse needs, not just one method of communication, but diverse methods of communication to cater for diverse needs. Of course, we know we learn at different levels. We learn at using different ways. Some of us are visual learners. We learn better with what we see. Some of us learn when we hear. Once you hear it, it sticks. Some of us, until we touch it, doubting Thomases, we must touch it before we know. All right. So we must cater for all these diverse needs of the learners. And that will make us skilled communicators. And that's a skill we want to put in our students. They are able to communicate at different levels, using different methods to pass your message effectively. All right. So I want them to have the ability to be able to support their claims with evidence. You must be able to support, for you to be a skilled communicator, you must be able to support your claims with evidence. All right. You must be able to develop the power to persuade others and to create change in others. All right. Okay. So we're looking at skilled communication. Level 1 of the level of skilled communication is that the communication is not extended or multimodal. It is not extended or multimodal. What do we mean by extended? Okay, extended communication, your ability to engage your hearers. Okay, you're talking to them, you engage them. You're not using, just words to answer. How are you? Fine. Where are you going? Out. Some of us are like that. We don't just talk at all. Just want one answer. Where are you going? Out. When are you coming back? Soon. What will you eat? Anything. That communication is not extended at all. So for the communication to be extended, it must be more than a paragraph, at least a paragraph, not just short answers, a paragraph. Your communication must be a paragraph. So you must be able to communicate effectively. Someone said taking IELTS examination, the speaking part of the IELTS examination, you'll be left with a one-on-one. You'll be talking to someone there, one-on-one. They want to know how you communicate. If your communication is extended, it's not even about your phonetics or no, but they want to know if your communication is extended, if you can express yourself, you can communicate well. And someone was like, when I get there, any question they ask me, I'm just going to keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Whether it's relevant, it's not relevant, I'll just keep talking, And it was so much fun because what they want to know, what they want to find out is how you communicate, how your communication is extended, your ability to sustain communication, a conversation, all right? So if the person asks you, what is your name? You don't just say, Ayo. What is your name? Ayo. Some of our pupils are like that. And we have to teach them, when you're answering a question, answer with sentences. Don't just answer monosyllable. Answer with sentences. What is your name? My name is so. So that is extended communication. And then multimodal. Multimodal, of course, from the word multi, that means more than one mode of communication. More than one mode of communication. So you have your writing, you have your speaking, you have your videos, you have your audios, you have your paintings. All those are different modes of communication. So what skilled communication wants to achieve is the ability to communicate using different modes, using different methods of communication. And the ultimate goal is to be able to communicate effectively. So for level 1, the communication is not extended or it is not multimodal. So that is level 1. So for it to be a level 2, the communication is multimodal, but does not have any supporting evidence. Level 1, it is not extended or it is not multimodal. Then if the communication is not extended, is not more than, is not up to a paragraph, or it's not different methods of communication, then it's a level 1. For it to be a level 2, it must be multimodal, but no supporting evidence. So that's the level 2. Then for level 3, it must be multimodal or extended, and it must have supporting evidence. You must have evidence to support your communication. All right. That's why in our project writing, they would always tell us to cite your sources. If you don't cite your source, you have not communicated anything. Or you must cite your sources and write them there. So you must have supporting evidence. It's so said. This is where I got it from. According to this person, you must have supporting evidence. So for level 3, it has supporting evidence, but it's not designed for a particular audience, just like your use of ICT. Okay, you can see the relationship. Use of ICT and skilled communication. Level 5, it is designed for authentic users.
Can you repeat the level 4?
Of skilled communication. I'm not
They
in
are
level
still
4,
in
I'm
the
in
level
level
3
3.
now.
I'm still in level 3.
Yeah, please, can you repeat it back, please?
Yes. I was just trying to, relate it to connect it back to use of ICT, because they have the two, they are similar. Okay. So for level 3 of skilled communication, it says it has supporting evidence, but it's not designed for a particular audience. That's a level 3 of skilled communication. So I was like, can you remember one rubric that has that? And that is use of ICT, level 4. ICT is required, but the product is not designed for an authentic user. So level 4 of use of ICT and level 3 of skilled communication, they're similar. Okay, so for level 5, the communication is extended.
Level 4 now.
Sorry, level 4. The communication is extended or multimodal. I've explained what it means by extended, and I've explained what it means by multimodal. So it's or. Either of the two will be correct. So you might have questions that says it is extended, and you might have questions that says it is multimodal. So you know that it's or, any of the two. If it's extended, fine. If it's multimodal, fine. Okay. So or. All right. So for level 4, it is extended or it is multimodal, and it is designed for an appropriate and particular audience. Then it's the level 4 of skilled communication. So your communication must be extended or multimodal, and then it must be what? It must have supporting evidence, and then it must be designed for a particular audience, appropriate and particular audience. Then that communication is said to be skilled communication. If it has supporting evidence, but it is not designed for a particular audience, then it's a level 3. If it does not have supporting evidence and it is multimodal, okay, or it is extended, it is a level 2. If it is not extended, it's a level 1. Or if it is not multimodal, it is a level 1 of skilled communication. Are we good?
Yeah.
So we have talked about collaboration. We've talked about knowledge construction. We've talked about real-world problem solving and innovation. We've talked about skilled communication and self-regulation. And use of ICT in learning, for learning. Okay, so for the educators' use of ICT for learning, remember in all this rubric, the focus is on the pupils. So at whatever level, if it's the teacher that is doing that thing, then it does not meet the criteria. All right? If it's the teacher that is taking the decision, then it does not meet the criteria. So it must be the pupils that are doing it. So don't forget that. So if you have your questions and it points to the educator doing that thing, then you know it's a no-no. Do you understand? Okay, so if you have questions like students are working on a particular subject, they are sharing responsibilities together, but their teacher is making the decisions on who is doing what and who is doing what for them, then you know that it does not qualify. It stays at that level. Do you understand? Do we understand?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at some of the tools that we use as educators. So I'll ask you some questions and then you answer me based on what tool I'm going to use. All right. So if I have an assignment and I have to work with my colleagues that are outside my state and outside my country, and we have a project to work on, that involves us writing, collaborating together, working together, and putting things together to come up with an assignment. What tool do you think will be best for me to use?
Team now, I think.
Can you come back?
Team. It's team now.
Microsoft Teams.
Team.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Team.
All right. So if I have a project, we're working on a project together with my pupils, and I need them to, as I'm working on it, they're also working on it. We're writing on it together at the same time. We're collaborating, working together on it at the same time. What ICT tools do you think I will use? You said?
Communication.
Someone said OneDrive.
These people are in different. Are they in different places?
Yes. My students, we are working from home
It's team
on
now.
the same
Team.
project. We are writing,
They're writing.
we are writing a project. Thank you. OneNote. OneNote. All right. OneNote. Thank you. So OneNote enables us to work on the same project at the same time. We can also use our Microsoft Word. If we are online, our Office 365, we can still work together using Microsoft Word online. Okay, so that's it. All right, so I have a project, I have a presentation that I have a presentation to do, and I need to put in some videos, some audios, and some pictures, so that my work will be well presented and I'll communicate effectively. What tool do you think I will use?
OneDrive.
What tool do you think I will use? Thank you. Microsoft PowerPoint.
Yeah,
Someone
PowerPoint.
said
Yeah.
OneDrive. OneDrive is for what?
No.
What is OneDrive for? Storage, cloud storage. Thank you.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
true.
Okay. So I have a project and I need to gather information. I need to gather information and opinions. What tools do you think I will use?
AI. AI.
XZ.
Google Forms,
Forms.
the Microsoft
Thank
Forms.
you. So I'll use forms. Thank you. All right. All right. So I'm in a class. I'm teaching a reading class, English comprehension class, and I have pupils that are not able to read very well, and I need to help them to be able to read very well. What tool do you think I will use? What tool will I use? I need to support my pupils reading so they can read very well. What tool will I use? You said? I should give you options.
Options, yes.
Okay. Option 1, PowerPoint. Option 2, Excel. Option 3, Immersive Reader.
Immersive.
Immersive Reader. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are collaborating, and I need to send out mails to a lot of clients. What do you think I will use? What Microsoft tool? Thank you. Outlook. All right. I need to send out large mails to my clients. As a company, I need to send a lot of mails to my clients. What Microsoft tools will I use that will help me do that?
Outlook.
Microsoft Outlook. Thank you. All right. Okay. So I have some documents that, it came up as an emergency and I'm not in the office, I'm at home and I need to share it with my colleagues. What tool will I use? What Microsoft tool will I use? Talk now.
You're
Well,
cracking
No,
their
repeat
brain.
what you said now.
SharePoint.
SharePoint. Thank you. So I'll use SharePoint for my document
to do
management
what?
and to manage my documents and share them with my friends. All right. Okay. So I need to stream some videos online. What tool am I going to use? What Microsoft tool will I use? I need to show some videos online. What tool will I use?
Option, please.
No option. Oh, God.
Allah.
Okay. So do you have your pen and paper there? I'll give you some like 15 tools, Microsoft tools, and what they're used for.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So number one, you know your Office 365. You can use that for co-authoring. That's online. Okay. Two, your Microsoft Outlook for your mail client for sending your emails. Okay. Number three, your Microsoft Teams, like we're using right now. It's your digital platform for meetings, calls, chats, it's your classroom. So Teams. Number four, your OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive. That's for your storage, your cloud storage. Okay, to store your documents, your data, backup, and all that so that you don't lose them. You have large, data to store. You use your OneDrive account for your cloud storage. Okay, all right. Your Microsoft Excel is your spreadsheet for your calculations and all that, your data processing. Use your Microsoft Excel. All right. Your Microsoft Word, your word processor, you want to type, you want to write letter, you want to write a memo, you want to write journal and all that. You can do small design on it also. You can put pictures and all that. So your word processor. For your presentations, your slide presentations, use your Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay. All right. To improve the quality of your readers, to help them to read better, to help them to pronounce better, you use your immersive reader. Your immersive reader. Okay. All right. Then you have your Microsoft OneNote, like it says, like a notebook. All right. And you can work when you're online, you can work on it simultaneously with your friends. You can work together. So use your OneNote, just like your journal, your OneNote. All right. Then you have your Microsoft Sway. Please hold on. I think Mr. Abbat's group have gone again.
Okay.
Don't mind that school internet.
Honestly.
Can't you see the way we are enjoying this thing now?
I swear, she's a good educator.
I
Need to win
swear.
award.
See what we did in 3 weeks.
I
Now
swear.
understanding.
Miss
I've
Abbat's group, are you back? Mr. Abbat's group, are you back?
They are back, yeah.
Okay. So we are talking about tech tools that we use, Microsoft tech tools. Okay, so for
Excuse me.
storytelling, we say we have Sway.
What is he used for?
For storytelling. Storytelling. For storytelling, Sway. Okay.
Please, can you spell it, please?
Sway. SWAY, Sway.
Okay.
All right. Okay, for our document management, we have our SharePoint.
Excuse me, man. My excuse, I'm just going to
Your excuse. Yes.
The question you asked.
Yes.
The last one, I need to send some videos online to stream.
Okay. Stream. Stream. Stream now. You use stream.
That was where we stopped, man.
Okay. Oh, that's why you stopped. Okay, just follow us. I'll go back. We're talking about tech tools. Who is laughing now? It's not fair. So let's help their ministry. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay now. Let's help our ministry together. So we are talking about tech tools. We are talking about tech tools that we use, okay, in Microsoft tech tools that we use for teaching and learning to make our work easier and faster and better. So we started with Office 365 for co-authoring. If I want to co-author with my friends abroad, the best, one to use is Office 365. So we can work together on the same document at the same time, and we are seeing what we are doing together, Office 365. So I talked about sending mails. You use Microsoft Outlook. For meetings, calls, chats, classroom, you want to have a classroom with your pupils and you want to see them, you want to share slides with them, share materials with them, documents with them, you use Microsoft Teams.
Wow. Okay, Teams, yeah.
Okay, Teams. All right. For your storage, you want to store your documents, your memory is full on your phone or on your laptop, and you want to store your document for backup, for safety and all that. You use your OneDrive. Okay.
Micro Excel.
You want to do your data analysis, you use your spreadsheet package. For Microsoft, it is Excel. Microsoft Excel. Okay, and think Access too also does that. All right, in a little way. Then for word processing, you have your MS Word, Microsoft Word. You want to write letter, you want to write novel, you want to write whatever, journal, and you want to do a little of designing also. Use your Microsoft Word. All right. For your presentations using slides, you want to insert pictures, videos, audios, and all that. Use your PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint. All right. You want to help your learners with their reading, with their pronunciation. Okay. You have someone that does not understand English in your class. All right. And you need to help that person so that I can catch up quickly. You have your immersive reader. Okay. You have your immersive reader to help with the reading. Then for your OneNote, it's like a notebook. You want to write, you can also use that for co-authoring with your friends too. You can all write at the same time, do the same assignment at the same time. You can use your OneNote. For your storytelling, you have your Sway, Microsoft Sway, all right? And then for your document management, you have your SharePoint to manage your document, to share your document with your friends and all that, to them see what you're saying. You have your SharePoint. And then you have your Microsoft Yammer. Yammer is like Facebook. So you want to FaceTime with your friends. You don't want to use Facebook. You use Yammer, Microsoft Yammer.
Yammer.
Yam now, Yammer. YAMMER.
Okay.
Yes, Microsoft Yammer. Okay, so you have a project and you need to collect data. You need to collect data. You need to collect information from people. You use your Microsoft Forms. Use your Microsoft Forms. Okay. Then you have a project or you want to create a work plan. Use your project. Use a project. Then for online streaming of videos, like I said earlier, use your stream. Your stream. Then for us class teachers, you want to do an online class. You have an online class with your pupils and you need a whiteboard like you have in your class. You have the Microsoft whiteboard. It's your writing board, just like your whiteboard in the class. You have your Microsoft whiteboard. Okay, so those are some of Microsoft's tools, tech tools that we use for learning. Okay, we still have other ones that we use that are not Microsoft, like your Zoom, your Google Class, your Kahoot, they're all tools for learning, technological tools for learning. All right, so you know all those tools and what they are used for. So if you come across a question in your exam that says, what tool
Hello,
will I
ma,
use
please,
for
can you tell us
this?
what Yama is used for?
I said Yammer is like Facebook. You want to FaceTime.
Okay.
Yes. You want to FaceTime with your
Okay.
friends. You use Yammer. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So I'll ask us some questions and then we'll be good to go. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this activity. Let's look at this activity, learning activity, and you're going to tell me if the learners are designing an ICT product or not. So learners create videos of their own interviews with local community members to submit to the educator for the end of year assignment. Learners create videos of their own interviews with local community members to submit to their educator for the end of year assignment. Are the learners designing an ICT product? Are they designing an ICT product? Yes. How? Listen, no, they created the video to submit to their teacher for the end of year assignment. Are they creating ICT products?
No, it's not for general use. So it's no.
Remember, I told you, anything that ends with the educator is a no.
Yes.
Do you understand? Anything that ends with the educator is a no. So don't forget that. Okay. So let's look at this other question. Learners are asked to produce a podcast on a hurricane for their journalism class. They are to produce a podcast, all right, for their journalism class, including a written script and the final audio podcast. Can the communication be considered multimodal?
Yes.
Explain.
Yes. Yes.
Explain.
Because it has a written script, which is outside ICT, ICT, whatever.
This question
It
is
has a
under
written
skilled.
script.
This question is under skilled communication. It's under skilled communication. So can the communication be considered multimodal? They are doing a podcast. Okay.
Yes.
And the podcast includes a written script and the final audio podcast. So can it be considered multimodal?
Yes.
Because it has more than one mode of
Different
communication.
modes of communication.
Yes, so it can be considered a podcast. Okay, so let's look at this activity, like this question. You have to answer it. When a learning activity, listen very carefully, still under skilled communication. When a learning activity codes a 3, that is a level 3, codes a 3 in terms of skilled communication, what are the learners required to do in the learning activity? For it to be a code 3, level 3, what are the learners required to do? So I'll give you options. 1, learners are required to produce extended communication or multimodal communication and provide supporting evidence to explain their ideas or support a thesis with facts or examples. They are also required to design their communication for a particular audience. Option 1. Option 2. They are required to produce extended communication or multimodal communication, but are not required to provide supporting evidence or design their work for a particular audience. Option 3, learners are required to produce extended communication or multimodal communication. They are required to provide supporting evidence. They must explain their ideas or support a thesis with facts or examples, or they are required to design their communication for a particular audience, but not both. What's the answer?
Either number 1 or 3.
You are saying either. What does level 3 say?
Level 3 said that
Extended
it must be extended, multimodal,
Yes.
and also
multimodal, and it has
supportive
supportive
evidence,
evidence.
but is not
But
must not
designed for
design.
particular
Yes.
audience.
So that's how to answer your question. So you must know the levels and then you eliminate. Okay? So it says it must be extended or multimodal.
Multimodal.
Or extended or multimodal.
Multimodal.
So it must have supporting evidence, isn't it? And number 3 is not designed for a particular audience.
Evidence.
All right.
Audience.
Okay. So don't forget. All right. So let's look at knowledge construction, a question under knowledge construction. All right. So it's an activity. Learners analyze climate data from their locality and then analyze climate data from a second location of their choice. They analyze data from their locality and then analyze data from a second location of their choice. Are learners being required to apply their knowledge? They analyze data from their own locality, and then they analyze climate data from a second location of their choice. Are they required to apply their knowledge?
Yes.
How? How?
Their knowledge is required to make valid judgment on the data collected from both the external and the internal.
Are they doing anything different? Are they doing anything different?
They are doing the same thing.
They are doing the same thing.
They are doing
I
the
analyze
same
data
thing.
from my own locality. They analyze data from another locality. Have I done anything different?
They are doing the same thing.
So no, they're not supplying any knowledge at all because they are repeating the same activity,
Same
just
thing.
with a different data, you know. All right. Okay. So let's look at this question. What code will an activity be where the main requirement is knowledge construction? What code will an activity be where the main requirement is knowledge construction, but does not require the learners to apply their knowledge in a new context? What code would that be?
Level 3.
Where the main requirement is knowledge construction. What level would that be? What code would that be?
Level 3. Level 2.
Okay. Level 2 says what?
Level 2 says knowledge construction, but not the main effort.
But the main effort is not knowledge construction. And this one is saying that where the main effort is knowledge construction. So what level is that?
Is a code
is required.
Is a code 3, yes. Okay, so please, your rubrics are very, very important. They're very, very important. That's how those are samples of questions you will come across. Learning activity. What code is this learning activity? They will ask you. They can ask you, okay, this learning activities on this level, I want to move it to a code 5. What 2 activities should I add to make it a code 5? So you must know what code 5 is all about and what makes code 5. Then you add those 2 activities to it. Okay? So it's not difficult. Once you know your rubrics very well and you have understanding of it, you're fine. All right. So for self-regulation, code 4 is what?
Code 4
They are
is
able to improve quality of their work through feedback.
Through feedback. Okay. So who can give feedbacks?
The students, the pupils.
Only the pupils. Is it only the pupils that can give feedback?
No.
Okay.
The feedback can come from the educator or
Educators and the pupils. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So don't forget that. The feedback can be from the educator or from the pupils. So they must improve their work through the feedback. If the feedback comes after they submitted the work, what level is that?
Please come again.
Do this feedback come after they have submitted their work? Should the feedback come after they've submitted their work?
Yeah, after they submitted their work, the feedback should come so that they can learn.
So how will they now improve the quality of their work when they have submitted?
Okay.
They'll be able to plan and monitor their work. I know.
Feedback is to improve the quality of their work. Remember I said, it's not after you have given them score, you're not giving them feedback. After you have put the score there, can they do anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
All right. So any questions?
No question. I think at this point I understood what this thing is all about. All this thing has been sounding like Greek to me.
Yeah. The actually things we do in the classroom. All this one is English. All right.
Honestly, all the while we've been doing this thing, I didn't understand it this way. So I want to appreciate your efforts. Thanks.
Yeah, same
for
here.
imparting that knowledge.
You're welcome.
It makes the class very easier.
All right. So all the best in your exam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, man.
One you get.
Ọ na-atọ unu.
Okay. So we can continue. We are the main audience now. We are the particular Okay.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, very much.
Can-
Yeah. Who's that?
I say
Okay, that's
she has concluded the class. Is that okay, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
I say she has concluded the class.
No, why?
Hello, Mr. Abbott.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, I say she has concluded the class.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So what was the
Yes, sir.
answer that led to our training?
But how did she conclude this?
Last question.
Okay, she wished you all of you success in your exam. So you read for your exam. Is that okay? Okay, sir.
I'm sure it's inspired, like everyone of us. Okay. You're welcome. Can you hear? Okay, you're welcome back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, you can talk to them finally. Maybe show you and say hello. And that's all.
All right. Okay. So do we have any questions?
Answer to that question. I think that's the two of them. The last question. The last question you have.
What was the question? You can? Okay. Okay. Is it a question where I said students analyze data, climate data from their locality, and then climate data from another locality of their choice? Are they constructing knowledge?
Next one after that.
The one after that question.
I talk about code. Admit. You want the further about code.
Talked about code. All right. All right. Okay, the question was, what code will an activity be? Are we listening? What code will an activity be where the main requirement is knowledge construction, but does not require learners to apply their knowledge in a new context? What code would that be? What level would that be? The main effort is knowledge. Good, because at level 3 is knowledge construction, but they're not applying the knowledge, isn't it? All right. So that's a level 3. Okay. So let me ask you the last question. What activity? I'll read out some activity. You tell me the one that is knowledge construction. What activity is knowledge construction? 1, learners writing a paper describing the crime a character committed. 2, learners writing a paper that compares and contrasts information from multiple sources. 3, learners writing a paper that describes information they found online or in books. Which one of the 3 is knowledge construction?
One.
One says learners writing a paper describing the crime a character committed. They describe the crime the character committed. Are they constructing knowledge? 2, learners writing a paper that compares and contrasts information from multiple sources. 3, learners writing a paper that describe information they found online in a book. Which one is knowledge construction?
The one that compares is the answer. The ones that compares and contrast.
Yes, the one, because knowledge construction is all about what? Analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Okay, providing supporting evidence and all that. Okay, so the one that talks about learners writing a paper that compares and contrasts information from multiple sources. That's what knowledge construction, because they have to synthesize, they have to look at it and think about it critically. All right. Okay. So let me, one more question, bonus question on self-regulation. Which of the following are prerequisites for self-regulation to take place? When we talk about self-regulation, which one of these ones tells us about self-regulation? 1, learners have the opportunity to plan their work and revise work based on feedback. 2, the learning activity is long-term and learners are aware of learning goals and associated success criteria in advance. 3, learners have the opportunity to set the learning goals and associated success criteria in advance. Which one of them? a prerequisite for self-regulation to take place? Which one?
Working with others.
Where
Having
did you see
shared
that one?
responsibility.
Where did you see that one?
Working with others. Pardon?
Is it in the option I read? Listen to the option again. Learners have the opportunity to plan their own work and revise work based on feedback. 2, the learning activity is long-term and learners are aware of learning goals and associated success criteria in advance. Learners have the opportunity to set the learning goals and associated success criteria in advance. Which one of them are prerequisites for self-regulation to take place? The ones that must be there before self-regulation can take place. Number 1. Wrong. Wrong. For self-regulation to take place, students, their activity must be long-term. 1, they must be aware of their learning goals and success criteria associated in advance. Those are prerequisites for self-regulation. The learning activity must be long-term, and then the students must be aware of their learning goals and success criteria. Feedback is level 4. The question says prerequisites. Prerequisites, the required things. Okay? All right. All right. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. So know your levels. So either you see it as levels or you see it as code. They can ask you level 1 or they ask you code 1. So you must know what the different levels says, what qualifies for the different levels and all that, and you'll be fine. The exam is not difficult. Once you know these rubrics and you're able to think critically, you'll be fine. Okay? And the questions are straightforward, they're not tricky. All right? Score the best in your exams. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
And you too.
Can we see your pretty face?
Hey.
You are the best. You are the best.
You.
You are the best. Yeah.
All right, so I'm expecting 900. Have a wonderful day. Bye.